Welcome to the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast. This is the podcast where we talk all things hockey, interview players, and help new ones learn the game. If you want to learn something new about hockey, this is your show. Get ready, you're listening to the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast. Welcome into episode 15. Today I'm going to be talking about Mathew Barzal a little bit. So let's get into it. All right, so we've got Mathew Barzal. So he just signed a contract for $9.15 million with the Isles, too. So he has been on a roller coaster of personal development, and that's according to Hockey News. I've got to admit that looking at his hockey reference page, I think he definitely has, a lot of potential too, but he's just not really there too. Also, with that shortened season in 2019-2020, I do think he only got 19 goals as well. But I don't think this is the best use of money, too, especially with being on the personal development. Now, I do think the Isles are going to have a good season this year, but with Barzal, I think it's just a bit too much with him. He's only ever played in New York for the Isles. In his rookie season, he got, if you want to consider age 20 his rookie season, he got 22 goals, which is not a bad start for anyone. 63 points for a total of 85 points, but he had to play all 82 games to get theirs, too. And we've got to also talk about, a little bit of average ice time too. The average ice time, I think that's also going to be part of it, but he's at about less than a third of the game on the ice too, but for most of it, and in his age 22 season, he averaged about 20 minutes, which is about a third of the game too. I think he just needs a little more playing time, to be honest with you. And maybe he could really be something special as well. But he's definitely has his potential. But yeah, so I don't know if this is the best move for the Isles, but if I'm a hockey manager, if I am the GM of anyone, I'm definitely always going to be skeptical of just putting up big contracts like this, because it's never the best. To be honest, I think more times it has failed than it has succeeded. And I don't want to be the one to, you wouldn't want to be the one to put up the big, write the big check. Don't write checks you can't, your butt can't cash, or however the phrase goes. All right, now I'll read a little bit from this. So Barzal has been on a roller coaster ride in terms of his personal development, and an annual salary cap of $9.15 million is going to push expectations on him higher than they are. And they're currently high enough as it is. So Barzal is going to have to lead the way on offense for what is largely a blue-collar lineup. A considerable part of New York Islanders coach Elaine Lambert's job is to get Barzal back to being a high-impact player on offense, but Barzal has to take ownership of his situation and find ways to make his teammates better. That's what superstars do, and Barzal will be paid next year like a superstar. It's on him now to prove Lamoriello's raise for him was worth it. We're nearing the beginning of NHL's regular season, and Jason Robertson stalemate in Dallas continues. As per cap-friendly Stars GM Jim Nill has approximately $7.8 million in cap space, but that's apparently not enough to get the 23-year-old under contract. As of now, he is 24. This was written about 14 hours ago. So that's incorrect that he is 24. In some ways, that is understandable. We're talking about the Stars last season. Score with 41 goals and 79 points in 74 games too. So it's not Robertson's fault that Dallas is being weighed down cap-wise because of the combined $19.35 million cap space taken up by veterans Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn. Nill needs to free up space to make Robertson happy. Okay. I'm going to skip over something. Regardless of who wins the preseason, new founders will be the ones who benefit from them. There will be scores of youngsters inspired by what they see and set out to fuel their hockey dreams. That's great for the NHL product, but also for the youngsters and fans who join. Jeez, okay. All right, so following up with that, I do think that this 8-year contract with the Isles it's going to be tough too, and also with Seguin and Ben eating up, for example, in Dallas, I think just having these big contracts, by the veterans also is never the best, as well. So let's just consider a few things with contracts. Moving on from Barzal, I think that certain contracts need to like you have to prove your worth. You need like I think if you're going to be getting like the top salary, even like that, it's not a Mike Trout salary like in baseball, like $100 million contract. The NHL doesn't bring in that much money. But if we're gonna have anything close to a $10 million salary, I need to see 5 50-goal seasons from you before anything. Like even if we're finishing, or you're still, or in your first 5 years you just go, you get 50 goals and you already have 250 goals by the time we're signing that contract. I think we could definitely work something out for about 8 or 9 million. I don't think that would be wrong if I'm a GM of the Isles or the Caps or whoever. I could certainly see myself doing that. Also, now I don't think I'd do this, I'd probably do it more likely for the forwards over the goalies, because goalies can get injured. We use the backups more now than we did in the 90s. So I don't think I would pay a goalie $9 million. I just don't think I'd ever see that. Barzal is an interesting candidate. He's got, he moves well on the ice enough of why I think they would, and he can definitely get open and just just get in the zone and pass and just create scoring chances, which is probably what they see in him too. But his numbers, I don't think it's always about the numbers, but it's just a big component of it. and I don't want to come off as brash, but yeah, I think it would. I do think like you gotta like don't overspend to get superstars. I think that I think like if I think I would still like always take Austin Matthews over Mathew Barzal. Clearly, I would. And I'm not sure if I'd give him maybe $8 million a year or something close to that. Maybe I'd give him. And also, an 8-year contract is tough too. And also I've got to deal with injuries as well. So, I mean, I'd keep it to about 5 years, but you'd like, if you're on the end of your career, you've already played 13, 14 years. I could go up to 6 clearly, but if you've 6 or 7 maybe, but I've never understood these long-term extensions for most of it or over the course of 10 years because I'm not sure how you're going to handle yourself in the next 5. Remember, he's 24 years old. I do want to give you some insight. He's 24 years old. I'm 28. I don't even, seeing 5 years into the future, even for me, is tough. And it's you go down sitting in a job interview and it's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And it's like you have to BS that answer most of the time. So I think also that's another, it's also about financial, stability too, as well. So 5 years over the course of all of that is tough. You don't know at 5, what's going to happen in 5 years. A lot can change in 5 years, as we know. 5 years ago, in 2017, I was living in Maryland. I mean, and now I'm in Florida. I mean, a lot can change, and it's scary to think of that. So, what are we going to do when he gets to his age 29 season and he's not performing? I mean, that's still a tough pill to swallow too. I think, you're not going to be like the Rangers and always get a Mika Zibanejad or even get lucky with Chris Kreider, or someone like that, or just have the luck that the players develop too. You need to, of course there's clauses in there, but everyone can have a bad season. I think he's going to do well in this upcoming regular season, but it's going to be tough as well. The Isles have a great arena. They've got a great fan base. But Barzal, it's hard to say. Maybe the Isles don't make the playoffs for another 2 years. And that's another thing too. When you are considering putting up a contract, is that, can you get me at least deep into the playoffs? Not even necessarily to the Cup Finals. Can you be enough of a factor to do that as well? And you're not going to get it from one player. You'll also need your reserves to do well. But just make sure that you can be that person. I do want to just bring up I'm going to bring up the roster to this, and apologies with this. Perhaps, the Rangers are New York's team. They always will be New York's team. They will be, they will forever just have a place in in New York's heart. And even though the Isles and the Rangers have the same amount of cups won over the course of their years, you're gonna have so much too. Yeah. I mean, Varlamov is getting up there. He was born in 1988, as well. I do think he's going to be, he probably will get into, he's going to be there for at least another 3 years. So, in terms of goalies, so there's that. Let's talk. Josh Bailey is 33 years old. Real quickly, I want to talk about him. How much can Barzal work with him? I think Bailey's got to be taking the lead on with him too, and when it comes down to it, and I do think that they can certainly have a good chemistry going forward. So there's that. Now I do want to finish up with the contracts. So in sports, in the Big Four sports, you can still make a big payday, and there's so much risk that comes with it. I mean, 100 years ago, you tell someone that they could do this, and just like live this luxury life just by signing on the dotted line. Like in 1920, the NHL was like brand new. No one thought of this at all, and they were basically amateurs. I don't think they would even last long in a beer league, even if they were checking. And I mean, the game has changed so much, but with this, a contract can change a kid's life. And yet, I think there is a bit of arrogance that comes with a young guy. Like, you get paid, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna blow this on alcohol and girls and stuff. Like that mentality is partially there. Like how do I know? It's like, I also need to know your attitude towards life as well. Like, $10 million a year is a lot of money. $10 million, you can retire and still live comfortably in this country. And a year, over the course of like 10 years, you're $100 million heir, if that's even a term. And of course, you're going to spend it on Mercedes, Benz. Maybe you get a Tesla. Maybe you get a. I don't know. You get a Bugatti. I mean, like, if you save up for it, or. So yeah, you get a Mercedes, a Bugatti. You get, like a luxury SUV. When it comes down to it, Lexus is also a good car, but it's like, I need to know, like, are you going to, keep a leveled head with this? I think that's another factor as well. And it's like, now there's always these provisions in sports. Cal Ripken was not allowed to play basketball over his break, during winter break. He was not allowed to do that. I think there should be, I think I'll also regulate something else. You're not allowed to drive fast cars, at all. Like, you have to, I think you should have to drive under, okay, maybe we're not going to go with speed limits here, but you've got to be, if there's a safer route to go somewhere, I think you got to take it. Or maybe not driving, but it's like, okay, I'm going to pay for you to go to a yoga trainer or, okay, well, they already got those guys. It's like, I think I'll just start running Saturday practice, like a light skate, which is like I just need to know you're going to be there when it comes down to it. There's that. And I'm like really speaking off the cuff here as well. Oh, yeah, there's that. So, yeah. I guess there is that. Yeah, man. Oh, okay. All right. So, so let's finish up here. I will be getting this on video at some point. And so you're now going to see some video clips of me as well. So, yeah, you're going to see my beautiful face. And definitely feel free to go to the YouTube channel when I do interview people. And it also helps, too, when you do have a partner. So, all right, the link to my Substack will be in the show notes and the description, or whatever we're going to call it. It'll be there, and as well as the link to my YouTube channel. And please share the show with a friend. Rate this 5 stars. And with that being said, stay safe, stay great. I'll talk to you all in the next episode.